Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 71853, Jay's Dragon Mech Fight from the March 2026 LEGO Ninjago wave. This set contains 107 pieces, 2 minifigures, and will retail for $19.99 in the US when it officially releases on March 1st, 2026. This set was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are entirely my own. If you missed it, I'm doing reviews of both of the March 2026 Ninjago sets. Of course, we have this one, the 4+ set, but the big release of the wave is Lloyd's Titan Mech, so if you missed that review, go check it out on my channel, it's already up. But now, with all that said, let's get into this review. So here are the builds of Jay's Dragon Mech Fight, and of course, this set is a 4+ set. If for some reason you're not familiar with what 4+ is, it's LEGO's younger line. It's a step between Duplo and regular size sets, so it's a series of sets designed for very young kids. It's still using the normal building system, but there's no parts that are too tiny in it, and it's made to be just very simple to put together. We've got two main builds in the set. There's the Mutation Monster mech here on the left, and the Jay Mech here on the right, so I guess let's just get started by taking a closer look at the Jay Mech. The biggest thing I want to point out here in the Jay Mech is these brand new big dragon feet pieces. These are only a single part, so it makes it easier for kids to put together. But honestly, I really like this new piece. I actually see it as pretty useful. If LEGO ever wants to do a 4+ dragon that actually looks alright, this is a really good part to use. A bit funny that it's being first introduced on a mech and not an actual dragon. But yeah, we've gotten a few 4+ dragons in the past, and they all haven't been great. And listen, I only expect so much from a 4+ set. I realize I'm not the target audience, and it's intentionally built to be simple. But some of those dragons, even in a 4+ context, do look pretty bad. But I think this piece goes a long way in improving that. Because at least one of the previous ones used these legs, which we're also going to see on the Mutation Monster mech, and these make for awesome mech legs, but on a dragon they're very silly. So it's cool to see them introduce a proper piece for that. And if you wanted to make your own custom build, honestly putting these pieces on a full-size build would not look bad at all if you found a way to build around them. I like that there's studs on the side too if you want to attach additional armor. It just feels like a useful piece to have. And you can see it connects to the body as a ratchet joint. We've got a little Nexonite shield here on the waist as well as a ladder, which is kind of funny. And then the cockpit attaches right above that with a Technic pin, and this allows the upper torso of the mech to spin all the way around. It's honestly done very similarly to the way the $10 mechs have been done recently. It's just using less pieces overall. And then yeah, it uses the standard Nexonite's clamshell design for the cockpit, which I've said before I'm not the biggest fan of, especially in Ninjago. The Marvel mechs use it, and I always thought it was one of Ninjago's strengths that they didn't use this piece. I think in a 4+ set it makes a little more sense, but yeah, in full-size sets I'm not a fan of how simple this part is. We do have a nice printed tile here though, which is the same one that's on the $10 Kai's Dragon mech. And of course, yeah, this is the little cockpit that Jay can sit inside. He just plops down 2 studs right there. Around the back, the mech actually has a tail, which is kind of unique for a 4+ set, and it can actually be articulated a little bit. It's a bit funny that it attaches to the torso instead of the waist, but I guess that allows for more movement because as you turn the torso, you can also turn the tail. But yeah, that just connects on with a couple of clips and can be moved up and down. At the end of the tail too, there's this golden armor relief piece that's a brand new part that was introduced in January 2026 for Ninjago. And it comes in a few different sets and a few different colors, but I believe this is now the cheapest set that you can get it in gold, and you actually get 3 of it in this set. 1 to be the tip of the tail, and 2 to be little wings, which I think is a really cool inclusion. So just from a parts perspective, it is really nice to get these pieces here. The arms are pretty simple, using the SCCBS joints in gray, with a little bit of blue and gold texturing on top. There's clips at the end to hold an accessory, and 2 individually posable fingers. And the opposite arm is exactly the same, except it holds a little golden blade at the end, so that way Jay actually has something to fight with while he's in the mech. Posability is about what you'd expect to see for a 4+ mech. The legs have very limited movement, only being able to go forward and back, but you can get it in a walking pose like this. And of course, you have a lot of freedom on the arms. It's good enough at what it's trying to be. But yeah, I like this. It's solid. I think for the target audience especially, it's phenomenal. For very little kids, this is a great introduction to Ninjago. You get a mech with these cool dragon legs that fits Jay. But for older collectors, this isn't one of those sets where it's just you immediately have to scrap it into the bin because it looks so bad. Yeah, sure, it's more simple than the main wave sets, but I don't think this is too far off from the $10 Kai's Fire mech. So if you wanted to display the 2 of them together to have a mech for Jay and a mech for Kai, I don't think it would look that bad. This is pretty much exactly what I want a build in a 4+ set to be. But of course, that's not the only build in this set, because we also have a mech for the Mutation Monster. And it's still very funny to me that 4+ sets are one of the only ways we still get villain builds. And while obviously I would love to have builds like this in the main wave sets, at the very least we get them somewhere, even if they are very simplified. And this is quite similar to the Jay Mech, but it does do a lot of things that I like. It's got those molded mech legs that I talked about that have been around in 4+ for a couple of years now, and then a little brick-built foot at the bottom. I like getting this pointed slope piece in lime green. It's only come in a few LEGO Super Mario sets, so seeing it branch out outside of that theme theme is really cool. It's a really useful part for detailing, and I always appreciate when we get detailing pieces in brighter colors, because that's not the most common thing. A lot of the times it's like tans or grays. The legs themselves, by the way, are an all-new recolor for this set. They're in bright green, which might not be super noticeable because bright green and normal green are very, very close. But yeah, we previously had a Lloyd mech with them in regular green, but no, this is not that same piece. This is them now recolored in bright green to match the color of the Mutation Monster, which is a small thing, but I appreciate that they actually made that change. The waist is exactly the same as the Jay Mech, just with some recolors. We got green Exonite shield here instead of a gold one, but we still have that like gray and black in here. This mech also has the Marvel mech clamshell design for the cockpit, and of course the minifigure fits inside. The front of the cockpit's in green, and that's not a new color for this part. However, it is our first time seeing it in Ninjago, so if you wanted to make like a Lloyd mech out of this, you absolutely could. And we have a little lime green on the back too. The arms are also gray SCCBS pieces, but we have these lime green tentacles coming out of them. I think that's really cool, by far the highlight of this build. And then of course clips on the end to hold onto an accessory, and on the other arm there is the same tentacles, which can be moved a little bit, and in the mech's hand it holds onto a spear as an accessory. And that's it for the builds of this set. Usually 4+ sets have a lot of side builds, little bits of terrain, maybe some sort of like catapult play feature, but yeah, it seems like that was left out this time around. Maybe it's just to keep the price down, and hey, if so, I'm not complaining. This set actually does feel pretty fairly priced for a 4+ set, but I also try to think back to when I was a kid and getting LEGO sets for the first time myself, and every little accessory and detail in those sets I would play with so much, so that's something I always appreciated about 4+ is they included a bunch of little things too. So it is a bit of a shame to see that nothing is there like that this time around, but the actual builds are so strong that I don't think it's a huge deal. Now, here are the two minifigures that come in the set, which is probably the reason most of you guys would get this set. We have Dragon Form Jay, and we have the Mutation Monster. Jay does come with a little sword, which makes me happy to see. I know it's a very common part, but I look at 4+ sets as like this may be a little kid's very first set, so ensuring that the characters actually have their accessories is important. And the Mutation Monster properly comes with his claws, too. Anyway, this version of Dragon Form Jay is of course not the complete version of Dragon Form Jay. It's the one from the Treehouse Battle set, but he does not have his wings and he does not have his tail. Instead, it matches the Kai that comes in the Kai Mech set, because they both still have that exclusive dragon hood piece. This hood piece is super cool, so I'm glad to get it in a smaller set. The dual molding's amazing. I love the dragon horns that come out the back, and the sort of like scaled texture that goes over the top of the head. I think it looks sick. The actual like torso and leg design's pretty good too. The ninja are all covered in these dragon scales, and they're each shaped a little bit differently depending on the character. And then Jay uses bright yellow as his secondary color, which I personally am a fan of on Jay, just because yellow is a color that not a lot of the ninja use, so it helps Jay stand out and have something unique about him specifically, since we do have so many blue ninja now. I know Jay is the original blue ninja, but these days Jay uses blue, Nia uses blue, Zane uses blue sometimes, Aaron uses blue, and Sora uses blue. So giving Jay a second color that isn't just blue I think really helps. Face print is of course just the standard Dragons Rising face, however for the first time ever the Dragon Power eyes, this side of the face, is going to be actually canon to the show. We've seen it in the trailer. When they're in their dragon forms they actually have those eyes, which is super cool to see, because yeah, that's been coming in sets since 2023, but it hasn't represented anything, so it's awesome to see that it's finally going to show up. And then of course alternate face is just this angry expression. If you're a fan of Jay especially and you don't want to get the Treehouse set, I think it's awesome to have a way to get this guy here, even if he's not complete. Even just getting the hood piece is an awesome addition to a collection. And then we have the Mutation Monster. Now this is the third set that the Mutation Monster comes in, so I'm happy he's becoming a little more accessible. He did come in a $10 set, so it's not like he's difficult to get, but it's good to have more than one option. Unfortunately, it's not the complete version of the Mutation Monster. He doesn't have like the tentacles coming off his back. In a 4+ set, that makes sense. I think it would be too difficult for a kid to build probably. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that the complete version does only come in a single set. Generally though, I really like the Mutation Monster design. He's just like this creature made of sludge. He's got teeth coming out of his chest, this little emblem that all the elemental monsters have. He uses the Big Fig headpiece with this one giant eye and this very creepy smile, and then he reuses the Forbidden 5 Rocks hat piece. Back torso print too perfectly matches the front, again just like that disgusting green sludge. And then he's got one transparent arm, which is a small thing, but I think it does improve this minifigure. He was the least common elemental monster in the January wave, so I'm happy there's another way to get him, and he is just a super cool villain design. But now, what are my thoughts on the set overall? Honestly, I think this is a really solid 4+ set. It has pretty much everything I would want from a 4+ set. It's not like a must-have by any means, and it's rare that a 4+ set is. The only ones I can think of are like that temple that we got last year just because it had so many amazing minifigures and the build wasn't bad. And then like Cole's car from Prime Empire was a really good 4+ set. So this doesn't quite reach that level, but I think it's really solid. It's great to have Dragon Form Jay in a cheaper set, even if it isn't the full version of him. I know he is coming in a magazine soon, so if you're in a country where the magazine's around, you can get him there. But for the rest of the world, this is going to be by far the cheapest way to get him. And it's nice to have another way to get a Mutation Monster, because we've seen in the trailer there is going to be multiple of them in the show, and they only came in 2 sets previously, so now they come in 3. The builds look good enough for 4+ builds. Like, yeah, they're definitely a little silly, but for the simplicity that they're meant to have, I don't think they look bad. My only small thing is, like, I would have liked some small side builds here, but that's not the end of the world. For a $20 set, I think this is solid. And yeah, price. 4+ sets are usually, like, wildly overpriced, but no, this feels like $20 worth of mechs to me. One of these mechs would cost 10, so putting two of them together in a set, 20, yeah, that makes sense to me. So would I recommend this set? I mean, you definitely don't need it, especially if you have other sets from this wave. If you don't care about this one, don't pick it up. But if you're a fan of Jay, or you want another Mutation Monster, or you just really love Ninjago and you're looking for more to buy, this is certainly not a bad set. I'm happy with what's included. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to my channel if you're new, make sure to go check out my review of the Legacy Lloyd's Titan mech if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!